station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Tonight at 9, the head of DC's 911 call center breaks her silence 1 week after deadly flooding at a pet daycare center. The mistakes she admits were made during the response.
Plus, flames erupt at a College Park apartment building, leaving dozens unable to go home tonight. What officials are saying about that investigation.
And in Northern Virginia, a quest to make America's fastest growing sport quieter succeeds, at least on one court. The changes coming to one of the DMV's most popular pickleball spots. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Annalisa Gale filling in for Tasmin Mahfouz. It's been 1 week since devastating flash floods overtook a doggy daycare in DC. Our top story now, 10 pets drowned when the water rushed into the District Dogs facility on Rhode Island Avenue in Northeast Washington last Monday.
Yeah, and tonight we're learning more about the 911 response. Officials now clarifying information regarding the timeline and detailing miscommunication about the severity of the flooding. Our Daniel Hamburg joining us live tonight in our newsroom.
And Daniel, this was first classified as a water leak, but what else are you learning about the 911 calls?
Annalisa and Chris, today was the first time we heard from DC 911 Director Heather McGaffin, who says that dispatcher misspoke when they first said that it was only a water leak. The first caller was from Montgomery County, a manager for District Dogs watching on a webcam. They told the dispatcher when they called 911 that the walls had caved in and the place was underwater. Today, officials admitted that no one recognized assistance was needed when the first 911 call came in at 5:06 p.m. last Monday because the call was initially dispatched as a water leak.
The access to those buildings are all completely flooded right now. You're going to have to hold that call for a little while until we get these rescues resolved.
The first two calls were from employees watching the destruction on webcams. It wasn't until the third from someone inside District Dogs who said they were trapped in water above their heads that crews were dispatched for a water rescue.
Command copy. We'll deploy units as needed.
That transmission coming 16 minutes after the first 911 call reporting the wall broke down. 911 Director Heather McGaffin says there wasn't a specific dispatch code for people trapped in a building that was flooding, and there was an acknowledgement that although notes were being put into the system, they were not being properly communicated over the radio to firefighters.
Strengthening our commitment to relaying that information verbally over the radio is something that we will be doing in the future.
As for the dispatcher who made the water leak call,
this was a performance issue. We are addressing that.
McGaffin says for now, any flooding with people trapped will be classified as a building collapse and will work with Fire Chief John Donnelly on better ways to communicate the urgency of calls.
We will be making procedural, policy, and operational changes.
Now, McGaffin avoided saying the words that there was a mistake or that there were mistakes, but obviously she did outline some of those mistakes that happened just a week ago. She says another contributing factor to some of the miscommunication is staffing. Of course, we know that has been a big issue at the Office of Unified Communications. She says she has hired more than 30 call takers that pretty soon there should be no vacancies, but they are still looking for dispatchers. Live in the newsroom, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Daniel, thank you. Still so many questions. Meanwhile, all new tonight, Arlington County's pickleball drama has gone from a neighborhood debate now to the topic of a New York Times article.
Yeah, now with plenty of attention on the game that can be noisy for neighbors, the county says help may potentially be on the way.
Yeah, our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla is talking to homeowners about the proposal.
Finding a solution to the noise problem from pickleball here at the Walter Reed Community Center. Well, it's been discussed for months. It's led to some controversy as well. Now the county says it's doing something next week.
It's the sound of fun and the sound of frustration.
Your game is in my house all the time.
We've reported on neighbors sounding off on the sound and an open house to discuss what to do with this space, the most popular pickleball spot in Arlington and one of the DMV's favorite.
When I turned 58 and gave up competitive basketball, I needed a vice, and pickleball was it. I thought it was going to be leisure, but it is quite competitive.
But soon changes will come. The county is installing acoustic fencing around these courts to keep the sound in, with the hopes that the homes behind them will have some peace and at least more quiet.
Do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's a fantastic idea because I think it will serve as a win for both parties.
An idea some players like because they say most of them understand the homeowners' frustrations, but this doesn't take away the sport they've grown to love.
It brings out the best in socializing. It brings out the best of getting to know yourself as well.
We also spoke with a homeowner off camera who said he likes this idea of acoustic fencing, and he thinks that the county has done a good job of communicating and collaborating with both the homeowners and the pickleball players. He does say more could and, in his opinion, should be done, but he thinks that the solution presented will have a nice effect. Reporting in Arlington, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
Meanwhile, new video tonight shows the devastating aftermath of an apartment fire in College Park, Maryland. Flames tore through the roof of the Winfield Park apartments near the IKEA on Baltimore Avenue around 8 this morning. 2 people were hospitalized with minor injuries, but 100 people now being helped by the Red Cross, unable to return home. Casey Rivera was among dozens who made it out safely.
I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't even see the door. I only saw a little bit of light, and when I saw the light of the door, then that's when I was able to just run towards the door and get out. Really grateful that we got out when we did.
Well, 10 apartments are now declared unlivable. What sparked that fire remains under investigation tonight. All right, let's get a first check on the forecast. Meteorologist Damon Matson in for Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb.
Yeah, it was a warm day to start the week off, Damon.
Yeah, the heat and humidity certainly ramped up after we had relatively nice conditions throughout the entire weekend. Now, to go along with that heat and humidity, we had some air quality issues. It's not exactly clear out there as we head into your Monday night, as we have a lot of that light yellow still hanging out on the map here. That does indicate some moderate levels of those air particulates, but things are improving, and while we may still have some lingering haze in the sky tonight, to go along with that heat and humidity departing, we'll also have that air quality improving as we move on toward your Tuesday. So seeing signs of improvement everywhere as we get deeper into this week. No doubt, though, still warm out there as we get more into your Monday night. How about that temperature in D.C.? Still 87 degrees. Hagerstown 84. We do have some locations like Winchester, Manassas, and Waldorf cooling off finally into the 70s. But it's still downright humid out there to go along with that warmth. So until we get both the warmth and humidity out of here, might still feel a little bit stifling out there. And unfortunately, the cold front that is swinging through tonight, its impact will not be felt until tomorrow. Temperatures do stay mild across much of the area, with lows only into the 60s and 70s tonight. But again, we are going to see quite an improvement heading into the day tomorrow. The question is, do we get to stick with much more comfortable conditions throughout the rest of this upcoming week? We'll have your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, it may still be summer, but thousands of students in Northern Virginia were back in their classrooms today for the first day of school. DC News Now spent the morning at Thomas Edison High School in Fairfax County. This year's seniors started high school during the pandemic. They say this year feels like they're getting a real high school experience.
Excited for my senior year. I can't wait to participate in all of the senior traditions.
I'm excited we're doing all the festivities. We didn't do this the last couple years, and I just think it's fun.
Yeah, good times for them. With the new year also brings new principal Mandy Burke, who started her teaching career at Edison High School 23 years ago. Well, meanwhile, Alexandria is kicking off the school year with a warning for drivers. Our Randy Bass looks at the new speed camera program, which leaders hope will make streets safer for students.
Every year we remind drivers to slow down as students head back to class. Along your commute, of course, you'll notice more families, teens, kids as they walk to school on your way to work. And now something else you have to look out for: speed cameras enforcing speed limits in school zones here in Alexandria. The public school system wants to make sure that you're following along, adding those school speed zone cameras at parts throughout the city. And today they'll start snapping photos of drivers who aren't slowing down. These new cameras offering parents some peace of mind. They say it's a good start, but it's not enough.
The cars are speeding all the time. They're not paying attention.
Janae and Corey Watson walk their children to school along Beauregard Street.
There are also a lot of schools in this neighborhood, and it's not safe. If you're within a mile of the school, you're a walker. And so we live right down the street, and our child, who is actually legally blind, has to walk up the street to school. It's just not safe.
The Watsons like the cameras, but want to see crossing guards and police help with traffic control too.
It's a conscious mental thing, you know. When you have a presence of authority on site, then the children can actually feel a sense of safety.
The new cameras are near Francis Hammond Middle School, John Adams Elementary School, and Ferdinand T. Day Elementary School, along with George Washington Middle School. Drivers who get caught speeding will get a warning for the first few weeks, but paid citations will be issued starting September 18th. The maximum fine for a speed camera violation will be $100. This new program also aligns with the city's Vision Zero goals. Those goals look to eliminate deaths and injuries along roadways in the city of Alexandria. And the U.S. Department of Transportation saying this is a good idea too, saying that those speed cameras can help reduce crashes in areas by up to 50%. Reporting in Alexandria, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.